Welcome to the Nailed It Wall.
Welcome to the Nailed It Wall. On this week, we're going to talk about all things STEM and science and the world that makes the world go round, people. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. I'm Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And I'm Miss Scofield.
It is episode 56 of the Nailed It Wall. We took a little hiatus for our 4-day weekend, our break. It felt so good, but it feels good to be back. And we got some great guests lined up here in the future. I can't wait to pick the brains, share their stories, and get back to interviewing people, what we do best on the Nailed It Wall.
I agree.
All right, as we start every episode, we start with our Nailed It, Failed It. What do you got for us, partner?
Well, I feel there's a lot of things that are going really well in school, in the classroom. My kids are really doing well with their projects. They put a lot of effort into it. And I feel very proud of year 5 teaching. And, I feel like that's been going well. However, I feel what I nailed the best was what you were talking about, was the 4-day weekend. And that is, I feel that teachers have now learned or are in the process of learning how to recharge and to truly take breaks, to disconnect, where you just are, giving yourself time and the ability to just refocus and relax, And, on my 4-day weekend, I did nothing related to work or anything stressful. And it allowed me to come back and feel, recharged. We have a stretch till, our Thanksgiving break. And I just feel like teachers are really recognizing the importance of that. And it's always been something that I have really struggled with, and I know you've really struggled with, is stepping away and just allowing yourself that break. But we realize more now than ever about the mental health and about how important that is. So that's my Nailed It this week.
And I think schools across the country are really understanding that as well. I saw on Twitter the other day that there's a school, they had a full-day PD set up, and they just turned it into a full-day mental health. And those teachers are just so excited about the importance of mental health and trying to do this job that almost feels impossible in this time that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. And how much teachers are wearing their shoulders as well as parents and the students. Mm-hmm. And so it's really great and refreshing to kind of hear that. And I think you misspoke, though.
How's that?
You need to talk about some of these projects your students did on Rosalind Franklin.
Well, I
see you smiling. People can't see your smile through a microphone, but I was truly blown away by the couple that I saw there. I mean, my mind was blown.
Well, I think that is what is impressing me this year, is the amount of effort students are putting into their work in a time where I'm seeing a juxtaposition where it's difficult for them to sit and take notes for long periods of time. COVID threw a lot of things off. And so we allowed them to chunk out things into really small bite-sized pieces. And we just taught in a different way. And now we're asking them to come back and absorb information and then put it into practice. And I think with my new curriculum, it's given me a lot of freedom to do a lot more PBL kind of things.
Project-based learning.
Yes. And so I have done a lot of demonstration of understanding through projects, and the way that they choose to explore and demonstrate their knowledge has been mind-blowing. And they had to talk about Rosalind Franklin and the discovery of the structure of DNA and the history surrounding that discovery. And I was completely blown away because I gave them different options, but a lot of them went with the videos and green screening, music videos. I think the 2 that you saw were both, one student made an original composition. He wrote the music and performed it.
With a guitar
that he's been really, really training himself with that. And I loved how he challenged himself, and his song was really good. And then you helped him green screen that and help that come to life, which was so cool. And, some of my girls did a really amazing music video as well. I think theirs was a music video, right? I haven't graded these yet. I need to grade them. But I am completely blown away.
The music video is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And the thing that is cool is they have so much pride and buy in on these projects. These are their creations, their ideas, and their effort. And I see that they really grasp the concept. And I am incredibly proud because they could have done a surface level turn in, like they could have turned something in a lot less higher level. And what they're performing and what they're producing is just, my mind is blown.
My mind is blown as well. I mean, you need to see these. I told you need to tweet them out and just kind of throw it back and be like, oh, I've had these. I got to share these with the world.
Yeah.
I mean, people will be blown away.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was just so blown away by the music video, how they rewrote the lyrics, how much passion, the costume change, seeing the kids out there in lab coats. Even today, you had them filming PSAs for skin cancer, and you blew their minds with this app that you showed me. If you didn't wear your age and you didn't wear this amount of sunscreen, and the kids were just like, I am wearing sunscreen forever.
And they've learned so much. I mean, kids have been putting sunscreen on or had their parents put sunscreen on, but they never knew what SPF meant, what the number was.
What does SPF stand for?
It's sun. I need to look it up myself.
Oh, wow. You're teaching this. Come on.
Well, I am.
I was excited to learn.
I will be honest. So I put a lot of these things out there. More, I was fascinated with how well the kids understood proper application of sunscreen, and they did so many things about what's the best level of SPF. So they have found, in general, 30 is a good, SPF, and they explain why that's, kind of an effective
I wear
number.
75. What's the case for 30 versus 75?
So it was interesting because they were talking about the jump for benefit is pretty minor. However, I don't think that they all understand the number is connected to how many minutes you can be out in that protection before you have to really reapply, that how long that's effective.
Seriously?
And, yeah.
That's what the number stands for?
Yeah, it's linked to that. And so, so anyway, that is, so they learned a lot about sunscreen, and
I'm learning a lot about sunscreen
and about skin cancer. And obviously cancer is a topic near and dear to my heart with my dad. And so I've been able to share that story and really make this a personal thing. And then other kids have shared about people that they've known. It's been, I feel very lucky to do the job I do.
Wow. I feel lucky that I'm going to learn more about sun. Now, did you play the sunscreen song?
I have not played the sunscreen song. I actually should do that because my thought is conference week is a wonky week, right? Because it's a weird schedule. And so you get these little tiny class periods. And I thought it would be nice to play some of the PSAs that week. But I'm really torn because the Rosalind Franklin videos, I haven't been able to showcase those to them. And so I'm leaning towards that as well. But I thought, sunscreen, the impact of what this could do for them if they keep this in mind, it really makes a big difference. And they talk about, because for us, and think about when we were kids, sunscreen, everybody would say, put it on, put it on, put it on. But you really don't see that big of a deal in the here and now, because your skin, the damage done to your skin does not show usually for many, many years. And so photo aging is a thing. And so they're learning about that. And it's just been so meaty. I just love it.
You are crushing it with the project-based learning. I love what your kids are producing, and it's just so fun and so happy to see you. Today, you were just out there. I saw kids in lab coats, people doing like news reports, people using the green room, the green screen room, media studio. It is truly amazing. I get amped up with all these projects, and I love that the kids are sharing these projects with me because I get so excited by them. I'm just blown away. I'm like, you need to tweet all these out, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been awful. I've got so many great things my kids are doing. I haven't been tweeting them, and it's just you just get so hard. I haven't done a good job of like tweeting out the pod, so I got to do better getting the tweet out the pod. It's just pre-COVID, everything just seemed so flow. Like kids would do something, I would tweet it out, like it would be out there for the world, and so many people would retweet it, like it, and then now it just seems like one more thing to add to our plate to kind of do. And I'm constantly pushing you, but then I need to push myself to get out there and tweet in. But I want to talk about PTSO's bingo night.
Yes.
We haven't had bingo night for 2 years because of COVID. And we had our bingo night the other night, and it was just so great for the entire community to come together, to celebrate, have a blast, and just to see all those families on campus. And I was just blown away by seeing everyone. It just felt so good seeing everyone. We showed up a little late to bingo night, so it was fun to kind of come in.
See all the people.
See all the people,
Yeah.
just blown away by everybody there. There was given $100 Visa gift cards, a couple rounds, and then the big blackout game was a Nintendo Switch. People just so excited. You know, they love bingo night. It brings the people out. It gets them amped. And it gets myself amped and thinking about it. And I was just sitting there. I didn't sign up to call a game just because my son has football games on Friday night, and you never know the schedule. And getting there and being able to be back there. But, you know, you talk about how much we love this job. We get to do this job. And I was just sitting there. Mr. Galletti, our principal, just called me out and said, Mr. Lane's calling the next game. And I wasn't listening. Like, I was talking to the kids about daubers and my grandmother playing bingo as a kid. And then all of a sudden I heard this, Mr. Lane, Mr. Lane. And then, you know, it doesn't take a lot for me to get into character.
No,
you know,
not
like,
at all.
I was dadding so hard.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the bingo night and, you know, talking to people, and then I
whipped your cape out.
I whipped the cape out. I went WWF, old school wrestling for all my old school wrestling fans, and I just broke into character.
You did.
And I was up there. I was amping up the crowd. I was getting them going louder and louder, and I was doing my Michael Buffer. I'm like, are you people ready to bingo? And
We have footage of this if anybody
just
wants
getting
to see
people
it.
amped. You know,
Yes.
that's what I do, and it doesn't take a lot for me to get going. And I'm calling numbers. And my game was four corners.
Which is a total travesty.
So you think four corners would be a hard thing to do, right?
Yeah.
To get all four corners. And I'm calling them. I'm doing small talk. I'm working the crowd. I'm getting the anticipation up. I was just getting warmed up.
You were.
Just getting warmed up to bring my A game.
True story.
And somebody won, I think, in 5 numbers.
Yeah. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think it was about
I think it was 5 or 6 numbers, 4 corners.
It was ridiculous.
My bingo calling for the night came to an end as I was warming up. And so, but I was just so humbled by the kids and how excited they were. And you're just reminded all the time of how lucky we are to get to do the job that we get to do. And it is trying times. Teachers all over the world are going through this with transitioning back to school, dealing with, you know, kids, the social emotional aspect, everything, districts, teacher retention. I mean, it's just there's so many folds that go into it. You know, it's kind of like that our favorite show where they gotta say you gotta fold the cheese in. It's like,
yeah.
how do I fold the cheese in? You know, it's like you fold it in, and so it was just one of those moments that you just really remember why we do what we do and how much we love what we do. And it's just the fact that I could be sitting there. I came out of character. We were all together for the first time. And then just getting the crowd going. It was just, my heart was so full. And like you say, like that's what you need for the rest of the year. But that's just this week. That's just like this one moment of the week. And there's going to be so many more special moments. That's why we love what we get to do, because there's no other profession like this. There's no way you get the quality of work that you get from your students. There's no way that I get to smile every single class period, get blown away by what students are doing for the first time trying to do something.
Well, you know, I agree with all of what you said. I really do. The other thing I think that's really worth highlighting is, you know, the last year and a half and then going into this year, it's been tough for teachers, especially. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of professions that are tough, and I know for parents, there's been tough things, and for kids, there's been tough things. But teachers have taken a lot of lumps,
A lot of
heat. And what I think is really cool is there were a lot of teachers out of that event, and there is never a time that it's mandatory for teachers to go to those things. But they do. A ton of teachers go because we feel excited to be in our school community, and we love what we do, and we love our students. And we forget sometimes that we have these moments to be role models all the time. And you could have gone up there and you could have called bingo normally, and that would have been fine.
What is normal?
Well, I mean, theoretically you could. However,
Normally?
but you gave those kids such a memory. And I think that that's what's really remarkable is teachers aren't just showing up. I think teachers are giving their best every day when an opportunity arises, and they show up and they show up and they show up. And, Mrs. LeBouie's had, she's been busy this year. And, on her day off.
She's our assistant principal.
Yeah, it was a previous visitor on the Nailed It wall. On her day off, she went and supported 2 of our 8th grade boys at their football game. And that takes dedication, and we all are trying to find the balance of the work and the home life. But I just see people continue to go above and beyond in the education field, and it really impresses me, from our front office all the way to our cafeteria workers. It really does warm my heart, and I think it is worth mentioning because I think they are often unsung heroes. So
I couldn't say any better. And there's just so many stories like that of teachers
Tons.
still going further. When you think of above and beyond, what's above and beyond?
I don't even know.
Infinity?
Buzz Lightyear? Yeah.
I was going to say, going Buzz Lightyear, yeah. So it's so exciting. Now, you're going through this major transformation as a parent. And I've said, we got to have Ella on here to kind of talk about the college process and kind of break that down. But as a parent, what has this whole college process been like for you?
Yeah, it's very eye-opening. It feels extremely overwhelming at times. It's exciting, and it's a big lesson in trust for me as a mom, because ultimately, at the end of the day, Ella's going to have to make a decision. And I think what's been really fascinating to me is I thought that when you get to this point, that there's like a handbook or something that you follow, like, oh, when your kid's a senior, then here's what you need to know and go and do all this. But there is not that. And so there should be.
Maybe you should create it.
I'm not qualified, but I do know someone that is. So I will highly encourage her to do this. So I feel that it's a huge responsibility, much like naming your child, helping them choose and get into a college. You want to help support them. She had to do all the hard work academically and with all of her activities. She's done all of her essays. She's done her application process.
Test scores through the roof. She's
done so well. It's disheartening, if I'm being completely honest.
I love when you're honest.
Yes, it's very disheartening that does not translate into a better scholarship for her. That's kind of hard for me, because we ask our kids to give our best, and my daughter has worked her tail off literally her whole life and been very self-motivated, and
from a
young age. And honestly, I feel that should put her in a position to be able to have more choices financially at these colleges, because she wants to be a pediatrician. She knows what she wants to do, and that is going to take several years of college, and it's going to be expensive. College is astronomically expensive now. I don't know when that happened, but it is really, really tough, and it was stressful for her. It's stressful for me, and however, I'm incredibly proud of the woman that she is becoming. I've seen her navigate through this process and really start to understand what's important to her and find her voice and prioritize things and understand big picture kind of things with this. And I am excited to see what she does with this. I know she's going to soar, but it's been a trying process for sure.
And you also have a freshman. So what is that mix like, having one that's getting ready to go off to college, and then a freshman who's just starting this next journey?
Who is totally different from the senior. I feel thankful that I have his sister to help me understand what to encourage him to do. So he benefits from that, to see, if we could go back, we would encourage, for any listeners that have kids that are going into high school, have them volunteer and have a lot of activities. That's really important on their resume.
How many activities do colleges like to see?
It was like 10 to 11, right? And so it's a lot. And my daughter, I mean, how much has she done with us? The Moxie girls and all of the drone days, and she has put in a lot of stuff. And then then you specialize. So she did badminton, she did HOSA, she's done all of these things, but there's only so much time in the day, and so it doesn't always translate perfectly on these resumes or these applications. And so I do like it. He's living his best life because he gets a ride to school. He gets to park in the senior lot, which is a huge privilege. And, he's got his own personal chauffeur and he benefits from us as well because he was able to meet a lot of kids at Astro Camp and really been involved in things that we've hosted and done. And so he knows a lot of the older kids. So he is loving high school, and so is she. And it's really cool to be in this stage to watch your kids becoming the adults that they're going to be. And I am incredibly proud of both of them. So I feel pretty lucky.
And having lost a chunk of Ella's high school career, how do you think she's enjoying having these senior things going on
She's
in
doing
terms of
everything.
like homecoming, college, or high school football games?
She's doing everything. And that's what she said, is she does not want to miss a single thing. She's going to do all of the dances. She's going to do all of the games, whatever sport. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she goes out for pickleball or, I don't even know what's an obscure sport.
Curling?
Racket. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. We'll go and watch that. But, she's spirit weeks and everything is really, really intense and excited. And she also is encouraging her brother to embrace all of that. But he's different. He's a different personality, and so he's taken a lot of stuff in. But the seniors, they do not take this for granted. They know that they're very lucky, and I see a ton of kids really being so spirited with everything they're doing. So that warms my heart because they are getting what I know seniors would have loved to have had the last 2 years. So kudos to them.
I love that. Now, do you guys hire a college advisor? What is the title and what role has that played in this whole college process?
So, yes, there was a college advisor, but I'm not exactly sure what the name was, to be quite honest, about what they're called, but someone to help navigate that process. And that was not cheap but helpful. And just to understand, how do you break this process down, and how do you find which colleges are good for you, and what do they cost, and what activities do they have, and just kind of navigating the whole process. It was really, really helpful. I think that gave Ella a ton of peace of mind. I think the hard thing as a parent is you feel like up until this point, you can help them with most things that they're going to encounter in school, except for some of the math. I struggle with, even third grade math at times, just the way they teach it. But I feel like for the most part, everything I've been equipped to handle and support. And you feel like you're letting your kid down when you don't know how to navigate this, but you have no background or there's nothing that is given to you to help you do this. And so it's not an innate process. It's completely overwhelming. And you want to say to your kid for their whole life, whatever, you set your mind to, you can accomplish. And then yet, she's looking at UCLA, some colleges
UNC.
but originally it was like all these really, really expensive colleges. And I don't want to say, well, could you scale your dreams down? However, the financials do play a role, and it's really a struggle to say shoot for the stars, but only use this long of a harpoon, and that's been tough.
What has been the one thing as you've watched your daughter kind of grow in the person she is today, like as a student? Like, what has been the thing that's just blown you away the most?
I think her self-discipline to know how to accomplish. She's had straight A's for her. I think it may be in utero. I'm not even positive if there was quizzes going on in there. But she's always had a thirst for knowledge and learning. She loves to learn and puzzle things out. And it is a juggling act when you go from middle school of any kind. Ours was a K-8, which I think is even harder in a lot of ways. into the high school, to figure out how to balance all these classes. You don't have teachers that are coordinating tests with each other and projects and, trying to set, you have badminton, you have sports, you have all these things, and your homework is still expected to be done, and figuring out what each teacher, what their style is and what you need to be able to do to make that A in that class. And it's different for every class, but to be able to balance that, I think has been truly the thing I'm most amazed, because that is not an easy feat. And that she's managed to have a social, kept her social circle, and that she's kept these friends, I think, from middle school is another thing that really is heartwarming. And I think that says a lot about Sierra Verde, is you see a lot of these kids maintain those friendships, which I think is rare, especially today. And so that is something I'm really excited about as well. So
now, applications are being submitted, FAFSA are being filled out. What is your heart telling you? Where do you feel like your daughter is going to end up?
I could see it going a lot of different ways. I think it's going to be cool to see where she's accepted and then how she makes her decisions. When you go, she does really like U of A quite a bit, and they have a good school of medicine there. And so that's a possibility. The thing is, she wants to try out of state. She just wants to be able to stretch her wings and feel what that feels like. And so honestly, we'll find a way to make that happen if that's what she does. And I genuinely don't even know her mindset. I've talked to her a couple of times, and I think she doesn't even know. I think it's going to be one of those things when she has all of her cards laid out, then she'll know how she wants to play her hand. And I am going to be fascinated to watch her.
Wow. I'm just blown away by A, your daughter, and B, by you as the parent, and all of your stories and how you take very little credit for her success and where she's going in life. And
she's amazing.
I'm excited to kind of see what this next chapter will unfold moving forward. And for all those parents out there who felt her struggle or getting ready to feel Miss Scofield's struggle, it's a tough game out there.
It's
a brutal game out there, and you think of scholarships and money available, and you're always told growing up that it's not tenfold, it's 100-fold. There's more money available for academic success versus athletic scholarships, and this is the route you want to go. And I love how brutally honest you are about voicing your opinion about just the money not flooding in, doors not opening, and being like, this is the student we want. And even in COVID times, you think about things being so down and people trying to be smarter with their time and money about what they really want to do, or like having to fight for students.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. It's crazy.
And
that's something that just kind of blows my mind. And again, even in these times, they're able to raise tuition prices.
I know. Prices are crazy. And I wonder, will it stay this way? Will something give where education is more attainable for more people? Will something shift in this? Because I just wonder, like, what's the ceiling with that? And, what will that be like when Sam's a senior? What will that be like when your kids are seniors? I just am really hopeful that something will shift in that department where we give our kids a fighting chance to get an education if they choose to go that direction.
Well, partner, you're honest. You're an amazing mom. You got some amazing kids. Sam, if you're listening, I think your mom's trying to give you a subtle nudge to get involved, to get active. And
he's doing great.
He is doing great, and he's got a great future ahead of him. But you're so true in thinking about this process and how overwhelming it can be kind of moving forward. And you've oftentimes talked about all the pressure that students and all grade levels are kind of feeling, young and old. And so I love your candor talking about that. All right, people, I can't wait to have Ella on to kind of get the student perspective about what this process was like moving forward in terms of the application process, whittling schools down, how this helped her. So Ella, your daughter, will be making a return visit to the Nailed It Wall to talk about all things the college process, and we're excited for that. We're going to get those Rosalind Franklin videos tweeted out. We're going to get the sunscreen videos tweeted out. But like we always say, if you're on Twitter, find us. We tweet out links, videos, pictures of our crazy lives. Maybe you'll see that video of me amping up the crowd at bingo night.
And OP.
We got to get better at tweeting. We admitted that. But if you're on Twitter, you can find me at Mr. Lane the STEM Guy.
And me at a positive proton.
And if you can't get enough of us, check us out on the morning announcements. Find us on YouTube, SV Viper Pit, no spaces.